You mentioned in your statement that he has been a victim of violence and home invasion. What did you mean by that?
Well, I was with him when we got jumped in the club and cut. And it's been a situation where I've been in the house and there's been like stalkers outside with signs and stuff like that.
When you say cut, you got stabbed?
Yes.
Who got stabbed?
I got stabbed and Rocky got stabbed.
And when was this?
2018.
And this was in your home? His home, is that right?
No, this was, we was out at a club. We was at a club.
So my question is, you're saying there was security at the event in Long Beach,
Yes.
right? So my question is, you're now in downtown Los Angeles, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you describe downtown Los Angeles earlier in your testimony?
It's pretty crazy downtown Los Angeles.
So you're in downtown Los Angeles with the defendant, Ills, yourself, and there's no security, is that correct?
Well, security wasn't needed. We was going to see one of our friends.
I object.
Stay at the ground.
Yes, this state's testimony. This is West Hollis Chief.
Is that what? It's assumed facts, not narratives. This happened in Hollywood. It didn't happen downtown Los Angeles.
I'm staying downtown.
Let me back up. Do you agree, is what you said about downtown Los Angeles and the dangers, do you believe that that applies to Hollywood as well?
Yeah, they have homeless people in tents in West Hollywood as well.
Yeah. You would agree that the area where you were meeting up with Relli in front of the W, that is an area where there are plenty of individuals who are homeless and violent like downtown Los Angeles, correct?
Possibly.
Well, is that your experience?
Yes.
So, my... So, my question is, did you choose, or the defendant choose, did you guys choose not to have security that night, or are you saying there was just no security available?
We had security for the complex con event. From there, we left. We were going to go to another show. But before that, we were going to communicate with Relli because we had another show the next day, which is Complex Con. So there was no need to have security. It wasn't going to be any issue. You know, these are friends. We've been friends for the past 20 years.
But you've indicated he's going to be out on a public street in Hollywood where he's a well-known individual.
Yes.
And don't you agree that given what you've said, that whenever he is out, that he is at risk?
He's very recognizable.
So my question is, isn't it true that the reason that you did not have any security with you that night was because there was a plan that Relli was going to be attacked?
That is not true.
Time to move on to another topic.
Now you said it was, it said that it wasn't, back up. You said that ASAP Relli knew and said, hey, that's a fake gun, correct?
Correct.
Are you aware, was it common knowledge as far as you knew, that Mr. Mayers carried a prop gun?
Yes.
And when you say it was common knowledge, where was it common knowledge? In other words, who knew that he carried a prop gun, based on what you know, general reputation?
Pretty sure his close friends, family, and circle. It wasn't something, because if he's out here telling people, yo, I just got a prop gun, you never know who could tell somebody else and put him in another dangerous situation.
So you're saying that it's not that everybody out there knows he's carrying a prop gun, it's just close family and friends, right?
Yes, and Relli was a close family and friend.
Did you ever know the defendant to carry a real firearm?
No, but I did know he had a permit.
I'm going to motion to strike the second part as non-responsive.
Everything after no is true.
So I want to start at the beginning of the day of the incident. So I want to start the beginning of November 7th. Where did you sleep the night of November 6th?
At the La Park Hotel.
And were you by yourself?
In my room, yeah.
Yeah. You had flown out before that from New York, is that correct?
Yes.
How'd you get out here?
By flight.
Did you go commercial?
It was a regular flight. It wasn't first class. It was just a regular flight.
You didn't fly out, the defendant didn't fly you out private?
No.
No? All right, so you fly out, when do you land?
Either the first or the second.
Okay. And where did you stay between the first and the second and the seventh?
So the La Park Hotel wasn't too far in the area, so we would hang out at his crib, whether we creating or just having a good time. This is the 10-year anniversary of the Love ASAP, so we have a lot of friends and family in town. So we was going back and forth from the crib to our hotel. Like, he had family there, so we stayed at the hotel.
Correct.
Yes.
And so you're saying you were actually at that house, not months before or months after, but literally the day before the incident occurred?
Yes.
Was Ills there too?
Yes.
What about Relli?
No.
At this point in time, were you aware of any, I'm not asking you to explain what it is, so listen to my question carefully. Were you aware of any issues between Relli and the defendant on November 6th?
Rephrase that.
So were you aware of any problems between Relli and the defendant on November 6th?
A problem? No.
Were you aware of any animosity or hostility going either way?
I was aware that two brothers wanted to have a communication with each other, and they were trying their best to reach out to one another. That's what I was aware of.
When you say they want to have a communication, isn't it true that the two of them were having issues with each other?
I wouldn't say issues, they just weren't communicating on the same page.
And by not communicating on the same page means that the two of them were having a problem, and your belief was they needed to work it out. Is that right?
To me, it wasn't a problem because, like I said, we've been friends and brothers for the past 20 years. It wasn't no problem.
Well, isn't it true that what you're saying is you believe that it was a problem that could be worked out, but will you concede that the two of them on that day had some issues with each other, going both ways?
So from my understanding, it wasn't a problem. It was more of a miscommunication, and they needed to communicate.
He's answered the question.
So, were you aware of any bad feelings that Mr. Mayers had towards Relli?
No.
Were you aware of any bad feelings that Relli had toward Mr. Mayers?
No.
So, how was it that you, Ills, and Mayers ended up meeting up with Relli near the parking garage around the W Hotel?
Well, we were already together, me, Rocky, and Ills, because we was at the rehearsal for Complex Con. So whoever was going to be there was going to be with her regardless. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to do this. No, we were at rehearsal.
And isn't it true that it was Mr. Mayer's idea to meet up with Relli?
I'm not too sure who idea it was. I just know he wanted to speak to Relli because we had a show the next day, and he wanted Relli to be there, man.
So, would you agree that Mr. Mayers, as far as you knew, wanted to meet up, I'm not asking you why, but wanted to meet up with Relli?
Because we got downtown, we got to where we got to, I believe so, yeah. He wanted, that's his bro, he just wanted to speak to him.
What was your understanding as to what was supposed to happen at this meeting?
Well, whatever miscommunication that they had going on, I believe that they were going to speak. The next day was the show. Everything was just going to be great. It was going to be like it was 10 years ago.
Now, you were with the defendant most of the day, correct?
No, because, like I said, I stayed at the La Park Hotel. So, once I left the La Park Hotel and we got ready for rehearsal, then I linked up for rehearsal.
I want to show you People's 13, please. This is a text that was sent approximately within an hour of the incident on November 6th. The evidence has demonstrated that this was sent by the defendant to Relli. The defendant's part of it is what is in gray, and the victim is in blue. are you aware, well, first of all, you were with the defendant at 9:34 p.m. that day,
Yes, I was.
and it says, Wyatt, let's get to it, stop ducking my calls. Would you agree?
Yes.
Would you agree, knowing the defendant, that that sounds like he is upset with the person he's sending it to?
No, because actually, I keep typing in all caps. So it's like, nah, this is regular. Let's get to it. Stop looking at my calls. He's calling. It doesn't seem like he's exclamation marks and everything. It seems regular.
Stop ducking my calls. You would agree that means that Relli's not answering his phone calls, correct?
Yeah, he's not picking up.
Okay. And would you agree that even at this time in his life, the defendant was not used to people, in your experience, not answering his calls?
I'm not too sure what he's used to.
Okay. Other than trying to fix things between them, etc., or to talk, do you have any knowledge as to what the purpose was for that meeting?
Yes. So that we could have an amazing show the next day at Conference Con. As you can see, the video showed me earlier, it was friends and family. So it wouldn't have been unusual for Relli not to be there, like he was supposed to be there.
Was your understanding that Relli was supposed to perform there?
Relli is not a musician.
I'm sorry, was supposed to, excuse me, was supposed to...
He's supposed to be there. Like, okay, he doesn't rap, you feel me? But he is a part of the family, so why not have him be there?
And when you say Relli was supposed to be there, how do you know that?
Because the other members of the ASAP collective were there.
So you're assuming that because the other members of the ASAP collective were there, that Relli was invited, correct?
Yes.
Are you aware that Relli has testified that he was not invited?
I'm not too sure. But it seems odd that he wouldn't be invited.
Well, would you agree that it wouldn't be odd if the defendant is upset with him?
It would be odd if he was upset with him, but I don't think he was upset with him.
So this is my question. Would you agree that if the defendant was upset with Relli, that you would not be surprised if Relli was not at...
Rephrase that for me, please.
So, I want you to assume for a moment that the defendant was upset with Relli. I want you to assume that. If that's true, you would agree it wouldn't surprise you if Relli wasn't invited to the performance, right?
I don't think I'm up here to assume.
What's that?
I'm not up here to assume.
Well, so when I give you a hypothetical, that's exactly what you're to do. So, I'm asking you, so listen, I know you haven't testified in court before, so when someone, I'm going to give you a hypothetical.
Okay, no
When
problem.
I give you this hypothetical, that means you need to assume that the hypothetical is true. So I want you to assume for a moment that the defendant was upset with Relli. If the defendant was upset with Relli, would you agree that it would not be unusual, knowing the defendant, for him not to invite Relli to the show?
Objection. 2 rounds of relevant calls for speculation.
Sustained.
I want to start with the incident by the parking garage.
Yes.
You would agree that there were 3 of you there, yourself, ASAP Mills, and Mr. Mayer, and that Relli was by himself, correct?
Yes. But I wouldn't say he by himself. We all part of the same collective.
Do you recall yourself, prior to the meeting, do you recall yourself trying to call or text Relli when the defendant could not get a hold of him?
Yeah.
So why were you texting or calling Relli when it wasn't you that wanted to talk to him?
Well, for one, we are all, it's a brotherhood, right? So, if one person can't get in contact with one person, let me try. That was all.
And the reason, correct, that you ended up calling or texting Relli was because you believed that Relli was ducking the defendant's calls. He didn't want to talk to him, right?
Can you rephrase that?
So you've seen the text that's right in front of you. It says, "Stop ducking my calls." That's from the defendant, correct? You yourself, at around that time, texted or called Relli trying to get a hold of him as well, right? And you were doing that because he would not return the defendant's text, correct?
Well, I didn't have like a reason, like because he did it. Relli is a friend and a brother of mine as well, so I'm trying to reach out.
But you're trying to reach out because you're aware that the defendant, who you're in the car with, can't get a hold of him, correct?
Yes.
So you are reaching out at the defendant's behest because you want to try and set up communication between the defendant and Relli, correct?
Yes, I want to set up communication.
And he wouldn't take your call and respond to you either, correct?
From my recollection, no.
Meaning that's correct, what I said, he did not respond?
Yes.